The deep space around the Orion Rift was always silent. No trade ships came there. No military fleets crossed that dark region anymore. The stars looked cold, and the endless black sky hid many old secrets. Commander Lyra, a young alien officer from the Valoran Union, sat alone inside the command room of the scout ship Silverwing. Her mission was simple. She had to scan old space routes and report any danger. Everyone believed this mission would be another boring patrol. The radar screen moved slowly from left to right. Small green lights marked distant planets and empty rocks. Nothing unusual appeared for hours. Some crew members even started talking about going home early. They laughed quietly while drinking warm space tea. Lyra stayed focused on her screen. She always trusted her instincts. The old stories about this sector never left her mind, even if everyone else called them fairy tales. Suddenly, a loud warning sound echoed across the bridge. A bright red signal flashed on the radar display. Every officer stopped talking at once. Lyra looked closely at the screen. One massive object had appeared without any warp signal. It was moving slowly through the darkness. The computer tried to identify it, but every result ended with the same words: unknown military vessel. The room became completely silent. Lyra ordered the ship to stop moving. The strange object stayed far away, but its size was impossible to ignore. It was much larger than any Valoran cruiser. Long metal wings stretched across its body. Strange energy flowed around its hull like blue lightning. The design looked ancient, yet far more advanced than anything the Union had ever built. No known alien race used this type of technology. The ship's computer continued scanning the object. After several long seconds, another message appeared on the main screen. This time, every officer stood frozen. Database match. 99%. Human warship. Lyra slowly stood from her chair. Her heart raced faster than ever before. That result had to be wrong. Every history book in the galaxy clearly said humanity disappeared nearly 400 years ago during the Great Extinction War. One nervous officer quickly shook his head. "The computer is broken," he whispered. Another crew member started deleting and repeating the scan. The answer never changed. Human warship confirmed. Fear spread across the bridge. Old legends returned to everyone's mind. The stories said humans built impossible machines, defeated entire fleets, and vanished without leaving a single survivor. Most people believed those stories were only myths told to young space cadets. Lyra refused to panic. She ordered another long-range scan using every sensor on the ship. Moments later, strange results filled the screen. The warship showed almost no heat. It produced no normal engine signal. It had no communication traffic. It looked completely silent, almost like a ghost drifting through space. Yet one thing proved it was alive. A powerful energy core deep inside the ship pulsed every few seconds, stronger than the heart of a small star. Then something happened that made every person on the bridge stop breathing. A single light slowly turned on near the front of the human warship. Seconds later, another light appeared. Then another. It was as if the ancient vessel had just awakened from a very long sleep. Before anyone could speak, the communication console suddenly came alive. A deep signal reached the silver wing. It carried only one short sentence. A heavy silence filled the bridge after the strange message ended. Nobody moved. Nobody even spoke. Commander Lyra looked at the dark human warship through the front window. It remained completely still, floating like a giant shadow between the stars. Yet every few seconds another blue light appeared across its metal hull. It was clear now. The ship was waking up after hundreds of years. Lyra quickly ordered her communication officer to send a peaceful message. "This is the Valoran Union scout ship Silverwing. We come in peace. Please identify yourself." The message traveled through the empty space. Everyone waited for a reply. 5 long minutes passed without a single sound. Then suddenly, every screen on the bridge went black. The crew looked at each other in fear as the ship's systems stopped responding. Red emergency lights turned on across the command room. The engineers rushed to their control panels, but nothing worked. It was as if someone had taken complete control of the Silverwing without firing a single weapon. The life support remained active, but every military system was locked. Even the engines refused to answer. The human warship had done something impossible without moving an inch. A few seconds later, the main screen flashed back to life. Strange letters appeared across the display. At first, nobody understood the language. Then the ship's translator slowly decoded the ancient message. Every word appeared one after another. Identity confirmed. Non-human vessel detected. Threat level under review. The bridge became completely silent again. The human ship was studying them instead of attacking. One young officer whispered that they should escape before it was too late. Another believed they should prepare every weapon they had. Lyra raised her hand and stopped the argument. Deep inside, she felt something was different. If humans wanted to destroy them, they could have done it already. Instead, the ancient ship seemed calm, almost as if it was following strict rules written long ago. Meanwhile, deep inside the mysterious warship, old systems continued coming online. Long, dark hallways slowly filled with white lights. Giant engines started humming after centuries of silence. Hidden defense drones left their charging stations one by one. Somewhere far below the command deck, a powerful artificial intelligence opened its digital eyes for the first time in 400 years. It searched its memory and found only one active mission. Back on the Silver Wing, every alarm suddenly stopped. Their controls returned one by one. The engines worked again. The radar came back online. But one new signal had appeared. A second massive object was entering the sector at incredible speed. It was not human. It belonged to the feared Craven Empire, the most dangerous military force in the galaxy. Lyra's face turned pale as dozens of enemy warships came out of hyperspace. Then for the first time, the ancient human warship slowly turned toward the incoming Craven fleet. Its giant weapons began glowing with blue energy. A calm voice echoed through every speaker on both sides of the battlefield. The Craven fleet spread across the dark space like a wall of steel. More than 50 battleships aimed their weapons at the lonely human warship. Commander Lyra could hardly breathe as she watched the enemy fleet move closer. The Craven Empire never showed mercy. They destroyed anyone who stood in their way. Yet the ancient human ship remained perfectly still, as if it had already seen this battle long before it happened. The Craven commander opened a galaxy-wide channel. His cold voice echoed through every ship in the sector. Unknown vessel, power down your systems and surrender immediately. This space now belongs to the Craven Empire. The message ended with complete silence. For several seconds, the human warship gave no answer. Then a calm male voice spoke from the ancient ship. Request denied. Humanity does not surrender. The Craven commander laughed loudly and ordered his fleet to attack. Dozens of bright plasma missiles rushed toward the human ship. Lyra expected a massive explosion. Instead, something unbelievable happened. A blue shield appeared around the human warship. Every missile disappeared the moment it touched the shield. There was no explosion, no fire, and no damage. It was as if the attacks had never existed. The Craven fleet fired again with every weapon they had. Powerful laser beams crossed the darkness, but the human shield did not move. Then the ancient warship finally answered. A single blue beam left the front of the ship. It traveled silently across space and touched the lead Craven battleship. Within 1 second, the giant enemy ship lost all power. Its weapons shut down, its engines stopped, and it drifted helplessly through space without a single explosion. Fear spread across the Craven fleet. Their commander shouted new orders, but panic had already begun. Ship after ship lost power as more blue beams flashed through the darkness. The human warship never fired twice at the same target. It disabled every enemy vessel without destroying a single one. Commander Lyra realized the humans were not trying to win with fear. They were showing complete control over technology, far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. As the battle ended, another message appeared on every screen inside the Silver Wing. This time it was not a warning. It was an old recording from centuries ago. A human officer wearing a dark military uniform looked directly into the camera. His voice was calm but serious. If anyone is watching this, humanity did not become extinct. We chose to disappear because the galaxy was not ready for the power we created. The recording suddenly stopped before anyone could hear more. At the same moment, long-range sensors detected hundreds of new signals coming from deep space. They were all identical to the first human warship. Commander Lyra looked at the radar in complete shock. The ancient vessel had never been alone. An entire hidden human fleet was finally waking up. Commander Lyra stared at the radar as hundreds of human signals filled the screen. One after another, giant warships appeared from hidden space. They were not using warp gates or jump drives. It was as if they had been sleeping inside space itself. Every ship looked ancient, but their power levels were beyond anything the galaxy had ever recorded. Even the Craven fleet stopped moving as fear spread through their ranks. The lead human warship opened another communication channel. This time, every ship in the sector received the same message. The calm human voice said, 400 years ago, humanity did not lose the Great Extinction War. Humanity ended it. We left because endless war would destroy every civilization. We chose silence instead of ruling the galaxy. The message shocked everyone listening. History had been completely wrong. Lyra quickly searched the Union's old records. Many files about humans were suddenly marked as classified. Some had even been deleted long ago. She realized someone had hidden the truth for centuries. Humanity had never become extinct. Powerful leaders from different races had changed history because they feared humans would one day return. The entire galaxy had been living with a lie passed from one generation to the next. The Craven commander refused to believe the message. Filled with anger, he ordered every remaining ship to launch one final attack. Thousands of missiles, plasma cannons, and laser beams rushed toward the human fleet. But before the weapons could reach their targets, every human ship activated the same blue shield. The attacks vanished without leaving a single mark. It looked less like a battle and more like children throwing stones at a mountain. Then the human fleet responded. No explosions filled the darkness. No enemy ships were destroyed. Instead, blue waves of energy spread across the battlefield. Every Craven weapon shut down at the same time. Their engines stopped. Their shields disappeared. Within seconds, the entire Craven fleet became helpless. Humanity had won the battle without taking a single life. Commander Lyra finally understood why humans had once been called the Guardians of the Galaxy. A new transmission reached only the Silver Wing. A human face appeared on the main screen for the first time. The man looked calm, with gray hair and kind eyes. Commander Lyra, he said, your people are not our enemies. You chose peace when you had every reason to attack. That is why we have chosen you. The bridge fell silent as every crew member looked at the mysterious human leader. The human smiled gently before giving one final message. Come aboard our flagship. There is something you must see before the rest of the galaxy does. At that exact moment, the sensors detected an enormous object rising from deep inside a nearby dead planet. It was larger than every human warship combined. The computer displayed only 3 terrifying words. Commander Lyra guided the Silver Wing toward the massive human command fortress. As her ship entered the giant structure, she was amazed by what she saw. Thousands of human ships rested inside huge space docks. Engineers, pilots, and scientists walked through bright halls as if they had never disappeared. Humanity had been alive all this time, quietly growing stronger while the rest of the galaxy believed they were only a forgotten legend. The human leader welcomed Lyra into a large command room. A giant map of the galaxy floated in the air. Many worlds were marked in red, showing wars, piracy, and suffering. The leader spoke in a calm voice. We watched the galaxy for 400 years. We hoped every civilization would choose peace. But instead, greed and fear became stronger. That is why humanity has returned, not to rule the galaxy, but to protect it. Lyra finally understood the truth. Humans had hidden themselves because they knew their technology was too powerful. If they had stayed, every race would have fought to control it. Instead, they waited until the galaxy needed help again. Looking around the command room, Lyra realized humans were not driven by revenge or pride. They carried great power, but they also carried great responsibility. News of humanity's return spread across the galaxy within hours. Many worlds celebrated with hope. Others were afraid because they remembered the old legends. The Craven Empire quickly surrendered and signed a peace agreement. Smaller civilizations finally felt safe after many years of fear. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy had a chance to build a future without endless war. Before Lyra returned home, the human leader gave her a small silver badge with the symbol of Earth. "This is not a reward," he said with a smile. "It is a sign of trust. From today, your people and ours will stand together." Lyra accepted the badge with respect. She knew this single moment would change the history of the galaxy forever. As the silver wing flew back toward Valoran space, Lyra looked through the window one last time. Hundreds of human warships were leaving the fortress, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Their blue lights shined like new stars across the darkness. The old legends had been wrong. Humanity had never been monsters, and they had never truly disappeared. From that day forward, every child in the galaxy learned the real story. Humans had vanished not because they were defeated, but because they chose wisdom over power, and when the galaxy needed hope the most, they returned without hate, without anger, and without fear. Sometimes the strongest warriors are the ones who fight the hardest to protect peace.